Hey everybody, this is Lisa Davis, and thank you for joining us again on this YouTube channel. I'm doing what I promised I would do. This is Chris Givens. He is my dentist. I've known him for over probably actually 25 years. And he inspired me about a year and a half ago because he just looks stinking amazing. And I was in here with a broken tooth and a big fat jaw, and I saw him, and I just stood there and looked at him, as I told y'all in my other video. And I just was like, what in the world are you doing? I didn't know who you were. I mean, it took me a minute to go, oh my gosh, what in the world? And so if you will tell my customers, so these are some new people that we have, and this is a group of people that I've known for umpteen years. They've been with me for years. They're customers of mine. So will you let them know your style of eating's a little bit different from mine. I'm carnivore, ketovore, adaptivore. So tell us who you are first. Tell them all about you so they know who you are, and then we'll talk about your keto journey.
Sure. Thanks, Lisa. So, wow. I'm Chris Givens. I'm a dentist, a general dentist in White House, Tennessee. And I've struggled with weight issues my whole life. My people are heavy people. and so I have that genetic in me. And so I have done, over the years, I've tried every type of diet there was to do. And about 5 years ago, maybe 6 years ago, I was scrolling, I don't know, I was eating breakfast, no telling what I was eating. I was eating breakfast, and I came across one of these ads about the latest diet fad that Hollywood is using. And what it was they were doing intermittent fasting.
Right.
They were just doing intermittent fasting. And they were talking about how all the action stars are bulking up, getting strong, intermittent fasting. I thought, well, that's completely opposite of what you normally hear. You hear bodybuilders have to eat 6 meals a day or 10 meals a day, and you know, with snacks and protein and all this. And there was a trainer who said, no, we eat 1 meal a day. Now, they would go work out, and then go to Spago and have a huge meal, and you know, whatever they could eat, ice cream, pizza, it didn't matter. And so I thought that was really interesting and intriguing, and so I just started looking into it more, and pretty soon I found out that intermittent fasting is amazing for weight loss, and the people that did best with intermittent fasting were the people that adopted a ketogenic style of eating. And it's simply because ketogenic, you cut the carbs out, you're eating lots of fat, and they don't get hungry, so you can go extended periods, longer periods, without getting hungry. And if you're not hungry, how much weight can you lose? And so anyway, I thought, well, I'll give it a try. And that's how I got started, and I just kind of jumped into it blindly. I didn't do a lot of research in at the beginning about what's the best way to do keto and how do you do it successfully for long term. I was just wanting to lose some weight. I wasn't thinking anything more than that. And so I found this guy on the internet called Dr. Eric Berg. Dr. Eric Berg. And he's got a lot of little short 5-minute videos. So I have a question. I go, well, let's see what Dr. Berg says. Sure enough, he would have an answer for that. But initially, for me, to get into keto, I thought, oh man, I don't want to get that keto flu. I don't want to. I don't want to feel bad. I don't want to. You know, I tried Atkins before, and I wasn't successful with Atkins. It was just, you know, how many hot dogs can you eat and hamburgers? And so anyway, I just started eating like steaks. And, you know, and I thought, well, I'm just going to eat my way through the keto flu. I'm not gonna give it a chance. And so, I thought, I don't want to count calories. I don't want to count grams of anything. The only thing I want to do is count meals
And be full.
Yeah. I just wanted to. Yeah. So I would go home for lunch. I would pan fry a ribeye steak.
Oh.
And I'd come home for dinner, and I might have another one. And I'd probably boil a dozen eggs and eat eggs with mayonnaise. And I just ate, and I'd put no limit. If I was hungry, if I wanted to eat, I ate. Whether I was hungry or not, if I wanted to eat, I ate. And so what happened that for me, now this is not maybe the best way to do it, but for me, I got my body to adapt and convert to burning ketones,
Right.
which
Okay.
it was not good at before. And initially, with all the food I was eating, I was not eating healthy, but I was eating the right stuff. I wanted it to be simple. I wanted to say, I eat this, but I don't eat that.
Okay.
And that's the rules I have. I don't want to have to count things. I don't want to have to walk around with a calculator and my phone on. What can I
Right.
eat? How much is in that? That I just want to say I eat that and I don't eat that, and made it simple, made it easy. And so initially, I was eating steaks and hot dogs and hamburgers, all the wrong stuff.
So you were doing
Probably.
carnivore, kind of.
Uh,
Majority meats?
It was largely just meat. Yeah,
Okay.
I did. The thing that worked though was that my body did become adapted. I did convert to burning ketones. Eventually, I just kind of said, I don't want another hamburger. I don't want another steak. And I just started cutting back. And I thought, well, if I'm going to keep doing this, what's a healthy way for me to do this? And I started looking at percentages of fat that you want to consume in a day and foods that contain that. And I started becoming more, going from what they call dirty keto into a good, healthy, clean keto, which was, organic meats, pasture raised, cows, grass fed, farm eggs, real good eggs, organic plants.
Right.
And I moved to that. I started making my own mayonnaise because I didn't want
That's
the soy.
awesome.
Yeah, and using olive oil.
Yeah.
I started making my own ranch dressing, because everything you go to in the grocery store's got soy
Yes,
in it.
everything.
And sugar.
And canola
And so,
and
right.
seed
And I
oils
don't,
and-
I don't do that. Yeah.
Okay.
So basically I have butter and I have olive oil, and that's my fats. And I might use walnut oil occasionally, or
Okay. Avocado oil.
maybe, yeah.
So not to interrupt, but let me kind of get a timeline here. So you said 5 years ago, and you started you didn't know carnivore, but you sort of did carnivore. How long did you do that before you went into ketosis?
Yeah, so initially I had some success, and as soon as a person starts the ketogenic diet, they'll shed water weight,
Right.
because
Quickly.
glucose will attract water molecules. And so when you cut all the sugar out, the carbs, you'll lose weight. And I
Right.
lost about 10 pounds, but it was mainly water.
Okay.
And then I just kind of held it there for a while, and then I started, trying to fine tune what I was eating. So I was probably a couple of months in before I started getting in. I mean, I was eating steak and steak and steak for a couple of months.
And then you started.
And
into
then
the
I started
keto-
fine tuning, right, and
Okay.
then moving it into a more healthy way. So now I eat more salads, lots of salads, and I eat a lot of hamburger. That's
okay.
that's my main meat source,
Good.
mainly.
Okay.
I like salmon as well, but mainly it's hamburger and salmon, and I might eat a steak occasionally. I eat sausage. I like sausage, and mainly because the fat ratios are
Right.
perfect in
Perfect,
hamburger, salmon, and sausage. That the fat ratios are what you want.
So
You don't want to get too much protein.
Right. So you try sticking everything you do is pretty much organic, farm fed, grass fed, free range. That's what you're doing now.
Mm-hmm.
And but you put plants back into your diet pretty quick when you did that.
Yes, and that was from Dr. Berg, and he says to eat 7 cups of vegetables a day,
Oh,
and
dear.
a vegetable to him is a cup of salad, and so that means you're going to eat a large green salad. And my salads, I generally like to have kale. I try not to eat a lot of spinach because of the oxalates.
Right. Exactly.
I will have, of course, romaine lettuce, but I try to make a variety of greens in there, leafy greens,
Okay.
and I use my own dressing, but then I'll put hamburger in it, and that would be a meal for me.
So how many meals a day do you eat? Do you think? We do 2, maybe 2.
Yeah, so right now, this week, I've been doing one meal a day.
Oh,
Yeah,
snap.
yeah, one meal a day. But I mean,
How big? How big is that meal?
it's a big meal. It's again, I still don't count.
Well, yeah.
I don't count calories.
I
I
don't
don't
either.
count grams. I go, I can eat that. That's how much I want to eat, and that's what I eat.
And then you stop when you're full, or you just eat it.
Yeah, I've got this thing where if it's in
Plate.
front of me, I'm going to eat it. So if I make it, I eat it. And sometimes I eat too much.
That's our upbringing. That's how we were raised.
I do, and I'll overeat sometimes. But the beauty of this diet is that you can overeat if you're eating the right things,
Right.
and it's not going to kill you.
Right.
It's not. And so anyway, it took me, oh gosh, Lisa, I was 6 months or a year of losing, I don't want to say losing weight because from where I am now to where I was 5 years ago, there's only about 10 pounds difference.
But it looks amazing.
Well, so I've added muscle.
Right.
And I've lost fat. And so those percentages have changed. So
Right.
if you, I don't know how to compare that. I mean, my waist size has gone down.
Right.
I'm wearing now what I wore in high school.
Do you notice the inches shrunk? Do you
Yeah,
notice that?
my waist size is about 30 now,
Right.
which is where it was in high school.
Okay.
And so,
What was the biggest you got weight wise? Do you think?
well, so at one point in my life, I was at 215, 220
And how
pounds.
tall are you?
I'm 5'10",
Oh wow. Okay.
and so I was chunky.
Yeah.
I was roly-poly. My nickname, my friends called me John Candy.
Oh.
I was terrible.
Oh my
Yeah.
God.
Yeah, and so, but now I weigh 180 pounds, but my body fat's somewhere around 12%.
That's awesome.
Yeah, and I'm working to get down to about 8%. I want to get it down there, but you know that takes a lot of focus,
Right.
and it's going to take me a few months at a pound a week. There's no faster than a pound a week.
Right.
You can lose weight. You might can lose 2 pounds a week, but that's probably extreme.
Okay.
But 1 pound, and I'm talking fat,
Right.
not weight. I'm talking 1 pound of fat.
You're
per
talking like
week.
visceral fat or subcutaneous fat?
Just fat anywhere on your body.
Okay.
You're not going to lose probably healthily any more than a pound a week. Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So let me ask you, going out to eat, you know, in our era right now, everywhere you look is food.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we are, I don't know why it's that way, but it is. So do you ever go out to eat now, or do y'all just simply eat at home all the time? Because this is hard for people on the go,
Yeah.
people with kids.
You
How
know,
can we make
yeah.
this sustainable for everybody?
That's a great question because we don't eat out anywhere near as much as we
we don't
used to,
either.
and I think that's probably a byproduct of COVID. Now, I may be the only person you know of that lost weight in COVID. When I started this was, yeah, when I was in had just begun. I was just into it right at COVID hit. I'd lost some weight, but when COVID hit, I was able to get more focused. I had time on my hands, and
Yeah.
so I lost about. I got actually down to about 165 pounds during COVID. So and I put on some weight since then, but I think a lot of that's been muscle. The body fat percentage hadn't changed that much.
Okay.
So, yeah.
So what would we tell people that are in a hurry? Do you think that they can make this sustainable? Because like for me, carnivore is what we do. I've started adding some like sauerkraut because it just helps you digest it better. I've added some cabbage back in. I don't really do any other vegetables other than that. I don't eat any fruit. Pretty much just cabbage, sauerkraut, maybe some carrots here and there.
Yeah.
But for people on the go, they're like, oh, like I did a survey with a lot of the same people that you know that we've been together here, and they're just like, it's too hard, it's too demanding, diets are terrible, we just can't keep up. We got kids, we're on the run. It's just, you know, I've been there, I know that, but we've been able now for almost 2 years to make this thing sustainable, and I enjoy eating this way.
Yeah, I mean, I do eat blueberries and strawberries. I eat a lot of leafy greens. I like all of that. I think it's good nutrition. and like I said, my meat sources are pretty basic. The thing is, to make it sustainable, that's the big part. How I do it is I usually meal prep on Sunday.
Okay,
I
that's
meal
smart.
prep all, cook whatever I'm going to eat for that week, and then all I have to do is just eat it for the rest of the week. And so I come home at lunch, I just eat my meal, my big meal. Usually that's when I have my meal. My big meal is at lunch.
Okay.
Yeah, and when I'm doing one meal a day, that's all I do. I never eat breakfast.
I can't either.
Breakfast is
Right.
the least important meal of the day.
That's been overridden for many years.
Yeah, I like to say that the most important meal of the day is the one you don't eat.
Ooh,
Yeah.
I like
That's
that.
that's because we eat too much.
We eat
And
way too
breakfast is a
much.
modern convention.
Uh-huh.
Breakfast is something our ancestors didn't do.
3 meals a day is
Yeah, they didn't do
Yeah,
that.
no.
People didn't do that.
People ate when they were hungry.
Well, and
Or when it was
you think
available.
about it, how long does it take? Back in the old days, you got to start a fire, and and prepare the food, and there's
It's an all-day thing.
and so, I've read stuff about our forefathers, like Thomas Jefferson on his plantation. They didn't eat until 10 in the morning. That was their first meal, and they would have another meal around 3. So they ate 2 meals a day. And the 3 meal thing is new.
Yeah.
It's a 20th century
Yes.
convention,
Yes.
basically.
And snacking and all that,
Yeah.
Because for me, the only negative, and it's not really a negative, but I am in the kitchen a lot. And I cook a lot and we eat a lot, but that's the only thing is I feel like I'm cooking, cleaning, because everything I do, it's from scratch now. And so I don't do box stuff, it's like it's just, it's work, but I don't mind it. That's the only negative. And if you're in a hurry, I can see how if you're a busy life and you got games to go to, just like probably Catherine and her little ones, it's just, it's a lot to sit there and just think, okay, I'm going to go spend 2 hours in the kitchen.
That's a thing. I know what works for me, and
Right.
and I have not tried to drag anybody else.
Right.
This is my thing, and but here's the beautiful part of that, though, is my wife has seen the results I've had, and she has come around and adopted low carbohydrate lifestyle, and she's cut the sugar out. She's eating healthy, and she used to really she lived on sugar. She was a
Really?
sugar fiend.
I didn't know that.
She's always been thin, but her metabolism can do that. I couldn't. We used to have Pop-Tarts in the house and chips, and Joby could eat all that. I just couldn't do it, or I couldn't do it and stay thin.
And stay healthy.
Yeah, right. And so, but she saw what I was doing and just started. She would start making ketogenic meals. Find recipes and making them, and they were good, and she liked them too. And so, then you've got, like, for her, she's got a choice. Well, I can cook this noodle stuff tonight, or I can cook something that's low carb. And so she's just started doing the low carb, and so
That's what Kent did. He just joined me, and he loves it more. He's far more strict than I am now. He's got
Yeah.
much more self-discipline. Okay, so let me ask you this now. You said you don't count carbs, you don't count calories, and do you worry about being in and out of ketosis? Are you always
No.
in ketosis?
I do not ever. I've never bought a test strip.
Okay.
I've never even cared.
Okay,
I want to know. I want to eat.
keep it simple.
Exactly. Keep it simple. I want to feel good. I want to eat what I want to eat, and not have to worry about any of that stuff. And over time, it all just starts to happen.
Right.
It's like watching a clock, but my body has converted more muscle, less fat,
Yes.
but that didn't happen overnight.
Right.
It took a while, and it's still fun to see, though, because it's still happening.